It's streaming on HBO Max. It was in theaters, and they rushed it to streaming just in time for Halloween weekend. Barbarian, I don't know if you've seen it. I don't know if you know about this. It is written and directed by this guy, Zach Kreger. So I am not going to spoil anything at all, which I try not to do usually when I review these movies because, I don't want to give anything away. But I was so blown away by the journey that I went on with Barbarian. This wasn't spoiled at all for me. I watched the trailer before I saw the movie. But the amount of twists and turns this thing takes, the less you know about it, the better. I wouldn't do any research. I wouldn't go out there and try to find any clips, any opinions, don't worry about it. Just trust me when I tell you. Go in, open, ready to go on a ride, and you will have a blast. I can tell you how it starts. It starts out with developing a pretty healthy fear for something that we should already have a pretty healthy fear of. It starts as an Airbnb gone horribly awry. Our main character shows up on a rainy night. She gets to this Airbnb. There's already somebody staying in the house, and the two of them have to figure out what went wrong. And you're like, why would that guy already be in the house? There's creepiness going on in the house. You go, oh, okay, I think I already know what's going on. The actor who plays the guy that's already in the Airbnb is the same actor that played Pennywise in the It remakes, Bill Skarsgård. Ooh. You go, okay, Pennywise is staying in the house, but guess what? It's probably about 25 to 30 minutes in. The first time I went, what? Like, there's this thing that happens about 25 to 30 minutes in where you go, this is not the movie that I thought it was. I don't know what's going on anymore. I have no idea where we are anymore. And you almost have to just give yourself up. That's the choice that you make, right? You just give yourself up to the film. It's Space Mountain for the first time. It's in the dark. You don't know anybody that's ridden it. You have no idea what to expect. But you've heard people are happy leaving. So you just go, hell yeah. Let me jump on board. It's one of these movies that you go from Act 1 to Act 2. And you're like, what the fuck is this movie? And then you get to Act 3. And you're just as removed from Act 2 into Act 3 as you were when you went from Act 1 to Act 2. By the time you are done with this movie, you will have no idea where you even are anymore. You're just like, what the hell just happened? I think I'm afraid of everything. I don't trust anything anymore. I'm afraid of everything. I don't know exactly what happened, but that was fucking nuts. The camera movements are great. There's a built-in tension to the way the camera moves. It'll zoom in slowly and then take a sharp zoom, or it'll come out and then take a sharp right or a sharp left, and every minute of the movie counts. There's not a lot of filler in this thing. They use every scene to tell this story and to take you on this ride. Like I said, you don't even know what story you're being told, man. What's fun is that, like, there's good gore and good violence, but it's not gratuitous and it doesn't happen every scene. So you don't know when you're going to get it, right? Like it's it could be around any corner because we've already established this is going to happen. But there are some scenes where you're like, oh, I think it's going to happen here, and then it's nothing. And then there are other scenes where it's like, boom, there it is. It was just one of those movies where you're watching it and you're going, oh, this is a blast. And it's also one of those that, like, you want to talk about, right? Like, there's clearly room in this film, Barbarian, for prequels, multiple prequels to be made. Because a lot is going on in this movie, and in an hour and 42 minutes, it feels like we're barely scratching the surface. There's so much. I literally, and how often do you do this with horror movies? I literally found myself at the end of the movie rewinding back to certain scenes so I could pay a little bit more attention to the dialogue or really like zone in on this one interaction that happened. Because like I said, every scene counts. And you don't even know some parts of this film you're watching and you're going like, oh, this is just kind of added in there. And you don't realize that there are scenes in there as you're watching them that are essential to the storytelling. And you're not going to know until 40 minutes later. Like 40 minutes has gone by and you're like, oh shit, that's why this other scene was in. Let me go back and watch this. I love that these horror movies are making money. Barbarian made a ton of money and is still being real successful on streaming. Terrifier 2 making money. Smile making money. This genre is exploding. It's superhero movies and horror movies all of a sudden are making a ton of money on a pretty low budget. This fits right in, and I especially like it because this is the genre where original ideas are happening. This is the genre where like filmmakers, this is a writer-director. This is the genre where filmmakers can get creative and like actually tell original stories with insane out there ideas. That's what excites me. I like when I'm watching a movie like this and I can tell that the guy who made it was just like, yo, how crazy would it be if this happened in a movie? Not, okay, we've done some market research and this type of movie and this type of scene and this type of character and we need to add this in and we need to add that in and what if in the third act we added this character and like, no. It's just like, how insane would it be if this movie existed? And then the movie exists and you're like, you're right. I'm so glad this movie exists because it's nuts. And it's exactly what it should be.